Hey, good morning, guys. How you guys doing today? So I'm not going to be on long. Actually getting ready to leave here in about another 20 minutes. So I just wanted to come on, man, to discuss this real quick because I've gotten three comments on this. One from someone who is just totally unaware of their surroundings, not curious about anything, basically overall ignorant. But I just want to talk real briefly about why I want to get a second passport because this seems to be a question now that confuses a lot of people. So, what are some reasons why I would want to get a second passport? And it doesn't really matter what country you're getting a passport in. Um, so, the reasons why, and I'll try to be brief with this. The first reason why I would want to get a second passport is a second place to call home. The U.S. is always going to be number one for me. That's my home. That's where I'm from. But it doesn't hurt. Just like when people get more than one home, when people get more than one bank account, more than one car, you always want a backup. So having a second passport gives you a backup plan, somewhere else you can go. Another reason why I wanted to get a second passport was for investments, banking, buying property. Because as a U.S. citizen, you're are governed by U.S. laws, regardless of where you are in the world. You're still held as a U.S. citizen, regardless of where you stay. As a person who has a second passport, I don't have to just rely on my U.S. passport when it comes to banking, when it comes to owning property, when it comes to investment. I can use the status from this country to do those things. I don't have to report everything back to the U.S. government at that point. I opened this account as a Colombian citizen. I bought this property as a Colombian citizen. I didn't buy it as a U.S. citizen. That would be the second reason. The third reason would be the kids who are behind me, because it would make them much easier if they decide to go down that same route to become a citizen in this country. They will have that opportunity to do so. Another reason why, I'm just trying to name off the reasons real quick to help out the people who are a little slow on why someone would get a second passport. Another reason why is because I'm only aware of one country that I can enter. Actually, I don't even need ID to enter, but to return back to the US with just my ID card, and that's Mexico. If anybody else knows of another country where you can enter with just your ID card, please leave a comment below. Okay? Because Mexico is the only one I'm aware of. But as a Colombian citizen, if I wanted to go to Brazil, I don't need a passport. If I wanted to go to Chile, I don't need a passport. All I need is an ID card. Those are just what two of I think 7 or 8 countries you're allowed to go to as a citizen of this country with no passport. The US passport is very strong, and you're able to get in most countries with a US passport. Some countries you're only allowed to stay 30 days, some 60, some 90, and here 180. Well, Colombia has a different time limit in most countries, just like the US has a different time limit. So, say there's a particular country you want to go to, you have multiple passports. You want to stay as long as you can. Well, you're going to go with the passport that allows you to stay the longest amount of time. Has nothing to do with the status of the card itself. Because ignorance, let me say this real quick. As people sit there and type out some of the most, I'm going to be correct on here, I'm not going to say nothing crazy. Some of the most ignorant things they're typing out. Why not just take your phone and say, hey Siri, hey Google, hey Alexa, or whoever you're using, or just type it out and just say, why would someone get a second passport? How hard was that? And the phone will give you reasons why. Just simple things like that. But people sometimes do, instead of thinking, they rather say something negative that makes absolutely no sense at all and criticize. And then you have to make a video like this explaining to them how ignorant they are for leaving a comment like that because you simply did not ask your phone or whoever why someone would get a second passport. The lack of knowledge or the lack of awareness with some of these people is incredible. But anyway, like I said, I wasn't going to be on long. But I wanted to give some examples of why I wanted to get a second passport. And you don't have to just stop with two. If you're someone who travels a lot and you go all over the world, because I'm going to get the pension visa from Panama. Why not? It's for life. So even though I may never live in Panama, that's another place I can go that I have the opportunity to go. And the last thing I'll say about that is this. Right now, if you come to Colombia, you cannot return to the United States of America without a PCR test. I don't care how you cry. I don't care what's going on. They are not going to let you on a plane without a PCR test. Whereas a Colombian citizen, and this was even during the height of COVID, as a Colombian resident, you can return back to Colombia with just your ID card. They're not going to ask you for no tests. They're not going to ask you for nothing. They're going to just make you isolate for 2 weeks. That's it. That is another difference, okay? So when you people out there in YouTube world ask these questions, instead of writing something negative and trying to tear someone down, why not type up your question first online to see if you can get an answer first, because it may save you from sounding stupid. Because at one point, I'm just gonna put all these comments together and show people how ignorant, because I never really thought of it that way, dude. But when you're living in another country, and I'm sure Loving Freedom can speak to this, and you hear Americans talk sometimes or do some of these things, and you go, wow, we some stupid people. Why do we do stuff like that? Or any of you guys who travel, and you see Americans out there doing things, you go, what? Yeah. Those people that write comments without asking questions, without doing research, that's those people. Okay? But again, guys, I got to roll. I'm getting ready to go on another trip. Video will be out later. You guys have a great day. I'm out. Peace.